What's going on, YouTube? Compact crossovers are some of the most popular vehicles on the road here in the US. Because of that, every mainstream brand has an entry, or in the case of Mazda, two. The CX-5 and CX-50 are both very well received compact crossovers. And while they have a lot of similarities, they also have some distinct differences. So that left us wondering, which of these two is the best choice for your money? Well, that's what we're about to find out. Getting things established, let's quickly talk pricing. Like we said in the introduction, both the CX-5 and CX-50 are very similarly sized, and therefore priced as well. Both models see price hikes for 2024, meaning the fully loaded CX-50 Premium Plus now carries a price tag of $45,000. Now moving on to the CX-5, we have the equivalent fully loaded model, which is called Signature. The CX-5's price remains several $1,000s cheaper than the CX-50, coming in at $41,975 this year. If you want to get quotes from local dealerships in your area for either of these two models, we have a new tool on our website to help you do that. Click the link in the description if you want to learn more. Now this is going to be an objective comparison. We have done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories, but at the end of the comparison, we will sum up with our thoughts and account for that price difference. But now, let's get into the details. Mazda says that these two models have somewhat different missions, with the CX-50 having a more rugged persona. That's reflected in the exterior designs, which is the biggest differentiator. The CX-50 was all new last year, and pursues a macho, squared-off, and tough look which many Americans crave in their SUV. Contrary to that, the CX-5 embraces a premium and smooth look, and finishes its grille in chrome instead of black. We want to know which one you prefer in the comments below, but as far as the features, both models have very premium full LED adaptive lighting and no fog lights. Moving to the sides, the CX-50 has the more rugged look, with its extensive use of matte black plastic cladding, whereas the CX-5 keeps things body colored. Here you'll also notice that the CX-50 is actually significantly longer than the CX-5, by about 6 inches because they don't share platforms. And because of that extra size, the CX-50 has gone for larger contrast 20-inch alloy wheels, while the CX-5 tops out with these smaller, silver-finished 19-inch alloys. Moving past that, the rear designs once again are very different, but identical in features. Both have exposed rear wipers, large exhaust pipes, and premium full LED taillights. As far as other individual features, let's talk about the mirrors. Both come very well equipped for mainstream vehicles, with heating, blind spot monitoring, and power folding. Only the CX-50 will further add driver's side auto dimming to this fully loaded model. After BSM, both CX-5 and CX-50 come standard with all 4 active safety features across all trim levels, and their top forms, as shown today, include rear auto braking as well. Finally, for those of you interested in towing small trailers, the CX-50 can handle nearly 50% more weight at 3,500 pounds compared to the CX-5's 2,000 pounds. But the differences don't stop on the outside, so let's see which Mazda SUV can take the lead inside the cabin. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
So approaching both models, you'll find smart entry systems and the same key fob, as expected. One difference to note though is that the CX-5 doesn't have a sensor behind the door handle, so you'll have to press the button to unlock. In glancing inside, you'll once again notice they share some common elements, but the overall design themes are quite different. We'll break down interior materials in just a second, but let's first start with those seats. There are some differences here, because the CX-50 comes with nice real leather, but the CX-5 Signature one-ups it and includes premium Nappa leather seats. They are supple and luxurious, as you would expect from one of the nicest grades of leather on the market. As far as adjustability, both have 10 ways of power adjustment, memory, and heating. Seat ventilation is also included on these high-end trims. Now once we actually climb inside the cabins, we can check out the major point category of material quality. Mazda has long been known for making very premium interiors, and these two do not disappoint. They both use a mixture of soft-touch plastic, padded leatherette, and feel solid. The CX-5 does take the lead in this regard though, since it additionally uses leatherette for the center tunnel, on top of the door trim, and it also has genuine layered wood for the signature trim. Once you fire the two crossovers up, neither has a full digital gauge cluster. They instead have a 7-inch display, and they also include head-up displays. Moving on, both have heated, leather-wrapped steering wheels along with rain-sensing wipers. When designing the CX-50, Mazda paid more attention to practicality, which is why it has a bigger center console, and they have moved the cup holders to in front of the shifter. From extensive road trip experience, that's an improvement in usability, in addition to having more storage space. The CX-50 will take the point here, and both also have wireless phone charging pads. I already briefly mentioned the shifters, but both the CX-50 and CX-5 stay using a traditional setup. That means they're easy to use, and when in reverse, both pull up 360-degree camera systems. For climate, they both have dual-zone automatic setups, and as far as audio, we have similar Bose Centerpoint sound systems. Let's go ahead and compare them. While both are good, we'll give the slight edge to the CX-50 with its 2 extra speakers. Alright, so now let's talk about the displays. They both have 10.25-inch high-resolution setups, running the exact same Mazda software and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Previously, the CX-50 had an advantage over the CX-5 when it came to controlling the system, but for 2024, Mazda has plugged that hole. They now both have touchscreen abilities when using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a big improvement for the CX-5 this year. Not to be outdone though, the CX-50 does have one final advantage in the cabin over the CX-5. While both have frameless auto-dimming mirrors with HomeLink universal remotes, only the CX-50 has a large panoramic sunroof. That's something still not offered on the CX-5. Now heading to the rear areas, things are heating up even more. You'll remember I said earlier that the CX-50 is 6 inches longer than the CX-5, but oddly enough that doesn't translate to additional legroom. Both are within a few tenths of an inch of each other, so no points are awarded here. The luxury doesn't stop in the front with these two, since both have rear vents, USB ports, and heated seats. The only difference worth mentioning is that the CX-5's rear door trim materials fall through from the front, whereas the CX-50 is using hard plastic. Moving out back, the two crossovers have power tailgates, and Mazda hasn't added hands-free ability to either model. Once they open up, you'll see a very similar story play out as in the rear seat. Despite the extra vehicle length, the CX-50 actually has less maximum space than the CX-5, by about 5.6%, and it matches it with the seats in place. As far as other features, both CX-5 and CX-50 have handles in the cargo areas to fold the seats, but only the CX-5 has a premium 40-20-40 folding mechanism, allowing for more cargo and passenger versatility. So you've seen the surprising amount of differences inside the cabins. Now let's take this fight out to the streets. So will it be similar or different under the hoods of these two luxurious CUVs? Well, thankfully, Mazda is giving both the CX-5 and CX-50 very premium powertrain setups with the exact same 2.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder. It makes 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, which is good to scoot these two to 60 miles per hour in about 6 seconds, much faster than many of the rivals.
Very nice.
Oh yeah. Now of course we have driven the CX-5 with the turbo engine numerous times, but every time you're behind the wheel it really impresses you because in this segment it's really not common to have a powerful upgraded engine anymore. If there's a optional engine, it's usually going to be a hybrid system with just a little bit more power, but this has a lot more power. So
Nice.
of course, as you would probably expect with the 2.5 turbo motor, we have very strong performance on board with this CX-50, the same way as we do with many of the other Mazda products, including like the Mazda 3 hatch that we had not that long ago. So horsepower for this is going to be 256 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque. As far as the transmissions, they both utilize a tried and true 6-speed automatic and have standard all-wheel drive systems. Now, as far as other elements of the powertrain, we do have a 6-speed automatic transmission on board. You've heard us talk about this numerous times because Mazda really uses this transmission pretty much across their whole lineup except for that brand new CX-90.
Yeah.
And it's a fine transmission. Yes, it does have less gears than 8 or 10 speed automatics and some of the competition, but it is nice and smooth. It's also plenty responsive, which with this type of power, you definitely could cross-shop.
Right.
Let's also talk about the other aspect of the powertrain. That's going to be the 6-speed automatic transmission. Now let's start to break down the differences. When it comes to driving dynamics, both Mazda SUVs have their driver-focused DNA baked in, with impressive steering and balanced chassis. You can really get into the weeds about how these two stack up, but it's important to know that both skew the ride and handling more towards athletic than the competition. The steering is somewhat lighter in the CX-50, helping to make the CX-5 feel a bit more buttoned down. The suspension setups are different as well, with the CX-5 having an independent rear suspension and the CX-50 having a torsion beam. When combined with the larger wheels, the CX-5 is the better riding. And another way that it kind of reminds you of a German vehicle is that it's very athletic. So as I kind of go around a corner there, it's a good demonstration of just the dynamic capability of the CX-5. It's a lot sportier than a lot in the segment. The biggest thing is that you have excellent steering. That is what you will for sure notice when you get behind the wheel of this. Really fast, responsive steering. It's actually quite heavy and it has just this nice, pleasant heft to it. To some enthusiastic driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so us testing it out this week, one of the things that's really been the best things to experience that I've been happy about is that we're not sacrificing that Mazda character for the extra off-road capability. Because I was wondering, are they going to make it like really soft, for example? But that's not going to be the case at all. They are luxurious inside and out, but you're probably also wondering how quiet they are. Tested at 55 miles per hour on local smooth highways, they got readings within half a decibel of one another, which is a difference below what the average adult can notice.
But now it's time. You guys are probably waiting for it. Our sound level reading. We'll put it on fan speed 1 and get it going 55 miles per hour. Official Car Confections sound level reading is sitting at 55.8 decibels for this 2024 Mazda CX-5. 54.5 decibels. Wow. That's really impressive. If you keep up with our reviews, you'll know that is very much a luxury vehicle sound level. Now, granted, we are on our home road here in Lexington that has just been freshly paved, so that has a little bit to do with it. That said, that is a really good reading that actually out-tested something like a Lexus RX that we just did a few days ago.
Speed and performance are fun, but they do have their trade-offs, and fuel economy is where both these two SUVs fall behind the competition. With no hybrid models offering, they are setting at 25 and 24 miles per gallon combined with these turbo engines. Before we wrap up, let's reevaluate the value of these models. If you remember, the CX-50 came in quite a bit more expensive, at $3,150 more than the CX-5. According to our price difference scale, the CX-5 will receive 1.5 points to compensate for that difference. But as always, if money matters less to you, feel free to disregard these points.
So there you have it. We had a super tight race as we predicted. With pros and cons in hand, let's talk about who should be your winner. Well, the CX-5 should be your winner if you like the more refined and premium design. It's a little less rugged looking, a little bit more sophisticated looking, you could say. You also have more premium cabin materials, more maximum cargo space, and then finally you do have that independent rear suspension, which is a little different than what you get in the CX-50.
And the CX-50 should be your winner if you like that rugged macho design. Has a lot of the black cladding, so if you're a fan of that, you will like the CX-50 better. Additionally, it does have more premium features than the CX-5. What I mean by that is that it has the panoramic moonroof availability, it has auto-dimming exterior mirrors. So there's a few extra goodies thrown in here and there on the CX-50 because it is a more expensive product. Now, it also has a higher tow rating, and additionally, it's built in the U.S. So if you want to support a vehicle that's made in the U.S., the CX-50 is built in Alabama versus Hiroshima in the CX-5. And we want to know your opinions down in the comments below. Are you taking the rugged CX-50 or are you taking the smooth and sophisticated Mazda CX-5? Let us know your thoughts down below. Now, if you're already a fan and supported the channel, thank you so much for your continued support because you do make this all possible. And if you're not a part of our family just yet, hit that subscribe button down below. We want to really encourage you to do that because we post a lot of car reviews and comparisons that I'm sure you won't want to miss out on. So please do that. I promise you won't regret it. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.